I promise y'all the decorations for the room are coming. I know my room is very plain and vanilla. I do have a strip of LEDs, but that's it. The blonde vinyl is coming. The Miseducation of Lauren Hill vinyl is coming. Bob Marley vinyl is coming. It's happening. Just wait. Today's video is a topic that's really actually helping me currently in my life right now. They're not bad habits, they're symptoms. I was trying to just like be better. Like, oh nah, I shouldn't be eating bad food. I shouldn't be, you know what I mean, watching this type of content. I shouldn't be doing these things. These are bad for my mental. Let me just cut it out and stop. I found that like with that mindset, things would just pop back up like a pimple. So if anyone out there is struggling to cut out their bad habits, bad symptoms, I think this video might help you. I know these concepts kind of helped me, especially once they weren't only conceptual. And then I started to actually experiment with these things. And now the conceptual became experiential. The whole school of thought is whatever habits, whatever vices that you're seeking. And I'm not talking about like having a glass of wine at the book club. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you can't wait to get to the bar and get fucked up, or you can't wait to roll up the first thing you do when you wake up, and you're using these things to almost feel good but also escape. Once I started to reframe my thinking that these aren't habits, these are symptoms, and I started to learn that these are symptoms, that part of you internally that needs attention and isn't getting it. Your ego, the containers of your ego, are using these vices to feel liberated or loved or empowered or escape that part of you that wants to emerge. Because I learned that, like, through shame and guilt and just sheer force, like, if I stop one habit, one symptom, another one will pop up. And it'll just pop up in different areas. It's not the video games. It's not the thing you're trying to stop. Part of me that enjoys getting on the game, but like that, and part of you that enjoys playing and achievement and development, you can do that in real life. It's just a lot more slower developing. Yeah, I'm not saying this. Don't seek pleasure. Pleasure is evil. I'm not demonizing sex or, plant medicine. I'm not demonizing any of that stuff. If anything, I think we learn from experience. We learn from doing things. So it is important to go through a season of trying new things and exploring. When those vices become consistent, that's when my attention started to go back within myself, because it's like, well, it's not these things that I seek. What do I really want? And honestly, again, I'm gonna shout out to Alan Watts. Really painted a picture that like humans don't really know what we want. Because like, we say we want this and this and this, but it's like, what do you really want? Because those are just mediators to what your soul actually wants, and it wants to be loved. It wants to be celebrated, because I think we all should be loved. We all should be celebrated. We not to get all kumbaya, y'all, but we all should be in union. We all should be together. So when I started to observe, okay, maybe there's a part of me that's not receiving attention. Our ego will misconstrue those vices as love, as liberation, as empowerment, but it's really not. It's just the stimulation that makes you feel like that, but it's really not. You don't need to be ashamed of yourself or frustrated with yourself, but just understand that that frustration that's trying to emerge, something within you is trying to say that this isn't in alignment with the life I want to live. This isn't in alignment with what I truly seek. Try and pay attention to, I touch on this topic a lot, but the inner child, if you can address that inner child, really that inner child within you wants the respect, wants the validation, wants the monies, wants the cars, wants the girl, to feel seen and loved. Those are things that the ego confuses for love and for union and community. Be present with your inner child, being the parent that your inner child needed. That's really hard. A step for me was meditation, and not doing meditation because I know my ego immediately was trying to become a better meditator. I was trying to become the best meditator. I was trying to meditate every day as if it was like, I need to meditate, I need to meditate. But it's more allowing yourself to fall into meditative states. So like, I might just start with you driving quietly. Something I do to help me in my mind is actually, every time I come back from the gym, usually there's some type of dishes that I had left from an earlier meal I cooked. I'll do the dishes with no type of music. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm not doing anything. I'm not watching nothing on my phone. As I'm washing the dishes, I start to see the flare ups. I start to see all the things that I'm worried about, all the things that I want to do, all the things I think I don't have time to do. What this person said, thinking about stuff that happened in the past, or where am I going to be? And when you observe this chatter and this noise, you'll start to understand that, oh, okay, maybe I'm seeking my vices to quiet the noise. For me, indulging in certain vices that would distract me from the noise for the time being, but then I would always have to return to the noise because it's me. You can only distract yourself for so long until you have to return back to yourself. Even the word meditation throws a lot of people off because it's like they're thinking about somebody like, sorry, that was probably offensive. They're thinking of that. There's so many techniques and so many schools of thought around meditation. It starts with just listening. If you can sit in a room quietly and listen to all the creaks and all the little weird noises and crickets outside and the water flowing, and if you can listen to the noises as if they were music, you start to relax and you start to allow your subconscious to start emerging, because now your ego is not trying to put containers on what thoughts make me feel safe and I'm only going to think about this. Like, no, now other things can start to resurface, other traumas, other things from not only your childhood, but things you're going through right now can resurface and be brought to your attention. Understanding that you're not your negative thoughts, you're not your limiting beliefs, you're not your doubt, can really be encouraging, and it can be empowering to know that that isn't you. And the wounded part of you that thinks that's you, through listening or through meditation, I know prayer is powerful for a lot of people too. You can address that part of yourself. Know that it's okay, and you see them and you see that they're hurt and you see that they feel like they've been wrong, but know that you're here for them now. You'll always be there for them and you're not going anywhere. Because I know for me, anytime I actually was jealous or angry or upset with anybody outside of me, I hope somebody else didn't do well. It was actually not even like from an evil place, but really from a hurt place that I felt unseen or not competent next to this person or around this person. So my hurt ego would cast shame or judgment or guilt or pain onto that person. So you think that you don't like that person, you think you don't mess with them, but really, I mean, again, you don't have to like everyone, but it's really you. It always goes back to you. It's not actually them. They just triggered a response within you, something that you haven't been paying attention to. They're like, oh, you're hurt, or you're hurting, or you haven't healed yet, or you're in the process of healing. But wounds heal, but they scab up. So sometimes they can be repicked, they can be re-aggravated. So yeah, just a little bit of a recap, because I get on these riffs and I just start, what I'm saying, wanna see Nirvana but don't wanna die. Like, come on, bro. Like, I just get in that mode. Like, just a little recap. They're not habits, they're symptoms. Part of you internally wants to emerge. The inner child within you doesn't feel seen or loved. It's really a telltale sign or an alert when you're definitely falling back into the same vice over and over and over. Lead with the intention to love yourself and be better for yourself. Start to pay attention to the internal environment. So if you feel like it's getting really chaotic, just observe that and know that that's not you. Pay attention to the parts of you that sound hurt or wounded. And instead of trying to just rid those parts of you, feed those parts of you with love, compassion, and understanding. I really just had this on my heart because, like, I find myself falling into the same loops with the certain vices, and it's like I've observed the pattern too much to now know that, like, oh, it's just I just like doing this. No, I'm doing this to seek comfort, distract myself from the internal noise. So yeah, I just implore y'all and implore myself to continue to just seek within and listen. If you feel like you have a hard time listening, you can look at your actions and it'll show you what you believe. Also, look at your music. Look at the shit you putting in your ear. Once you start to look at your music as a reflection of where you're at and what season of life you're in, I used to listen to so much, like, I don't even want to call it sad music, but it was like rap music, but it had undertones of pain and hurt and trauma, and I'm trying to make it out. And that's fine for a time, but I realized I was kind of overindulging in that type of music. It wasn't even overindulgence, it was just a reflection of I was kind of stuck in that area of pain, and I couldn't quite move past that. So if you're having a hard time listening, just look at the things that you do. I know I enjoy funny shows and stuff, and those are fine. We want to enjoy humor, we want to laugh. But binge watching shows, like, I'm talking like not one or two episodes, I'm talking like three, four, 5 episodes in one sitting. Yeah, sure, you like the show, but now it's turning into escapism. That was on my heart. I wanted to tell y'all, love y'all.